So over the past 6 weeks, it's hard to believe it's been 6 weeks already, we've been exploring how we can unlock the keys to the kingdom that allow us to live in that heavenly state, in that oneness with God. I've been sharing, at least in part, the lens that David Owen Rich shares in his class, as well as some other ideas about how we can live from this state of heaven. It's not some place we have to get to in some far off place in the universe once we leave our body. We can actually call forth the kingdom of heaven into our lives, into our experience, right where we are. As we've been working with these truths, putting them into practice in our lives, what they reveal is one of life's greatest truths, that we are co-creators with God, with our life experience. We are not the sole creator, but it is through our partnership with that energy of spirit that we get to create at least how we experience life's unfolding events. For those of you who have been around Unity for any period of time, this is what we call our third fundamental principle, our belief system, and that says that through our thoughts, through our feelings, through our actions, through our words, we co-create our experience. It's not a new idea, but it's one that sometimes eludes us. We think it's all them doing it out there, and yet we forget that we have within us the power to color, to perceive life's unfolding through God's eyes rather than through our human eyes. For millennia, great spiritual teachers, thinkers, mystics have noticed this relationship between our state of mind, or what we would often call our consciousness, and our personal experience of life. Some in more current vernacular say, are you a glass half full or a glass half empty kind of person? That is, how is it that we're going to show up and engage with whatever appears before us? We're one with that creative power of the universe, they have taught us, and we must learn how it is that we can live in greater harmony with its laws and awaken in greater ways to our own spiritual nature. They've been called mystics, they've been called great teachers. We call Jesus the master teacher, the one that we look to see how we can follow those teachings in order to be able to experience it. And it's been said, it's been written over millennia. Here's a few that you might be familiar with. All things are possible to him who believes, or to her. In Mark 9:23, according to your faith, it will be done to you. The things that are impossible with men are possible with God. That's out of the book of Luke. And another one from St. Paul, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, out of Romans. That, of course, are the way that it was described in the New Testament. But there are many other texts that would echo this same understanding. From the Buddhists, in their sacred text, there's a collection of teachings, and one of them says this: we are what we think. All that we are arises out of our thoughts. With our thought, we make the world. Speak and act with a pure mind, and happiness will follow you as your shadow, unshakable. And even hundreds of years before that, in another part of the world, the Tao Te Ching says this. It says that this is what he was talking about as far as God or spiritual law. This single principle, this single Presence can be found everywhere, all the time, and everything works according to it. By knowing Tao, or God, I know how things work. All of these masters and these, what we would describe as new thought thinkers who have come along since, understood that we live in a participatory universe. We're not just passively passing through. We are here to participate in it. Life doesn't happen to us. Life happens through us. Let me turn this off for just a second, sorry. Life, with all its mystery and at times seeming uncertainty, is nonetheless doing one thing faithfully. It's responding to each of us with love and intelligence. It's guiding each of us with love and intelligence. For most people, grasping this profound awareness is both a powerful emotional experience because we actually can begin to feel that sense of oneness, and a spiritual experience. I think this is what Jesus, when he was saying the Father and I are one, that's the experience. I am walking through this with God as this partner on my journey. It fills each of us when we can begin to live from this space with a new sense of purpose and a deep feeling of gratitude for the increasing freedom and sense of connection that we have with all of life. Our feelings and our emotions contain great power. They are not just experiences. They are not just some energy that passes through us. They are the channels from which our own direct creative energy is expressing out into the world. They are what helps us and supports us and shapes our experience of life. And I want you to hear this because this is the most important thing that I'm going to say this morning. So you ready? Gratitude is the feeling that is most congruent with abundance. The vibration of gratitude is the same vibration as abundance. It is critical for our own experience and the way we see and perceive life. It is among the most strongest and affirmative spiritual energies that we have at our command. It is the most powerful creative energy that we have at our command. And in this series, it's the sixth key to unlock the doors to the kingdom. This is not passive gratitude. When I say passive gratitude, it is when we say thank you because somebody did something nice for us. So we're waiting to be grateful until we receive something. Something that you feel when everything's going great. The kind of gratitude that we're talking about, this kind of powerful, abundant gratitude, is intentional, it's conscious, and it's very powerful. David and other master teachers have called it proactive gratitude. It is giving thanks in advance. And you notice this is what Jesus demonstrated all the time. He didn't say thank you afterwards. He always began when he was getting ready to express something into the world, thank you. I know it's already done. That is what a proactive gratitude attitude expresses. And I want to give you a couple practices that we can use in our daily lives to increase our awareness of and our expression of proactive gratitude that can move us from that place of simply being grateful to doing grateful, to expressing grateful. So here's the first one. The first one is to be conscious of the good in your life. Sounds pretty simple, but in our humanness, the human tendency is to only be focused on potentially what's not working, what's not right, what needs to be fixed. That's the ego's job. It's always on the lookout for any danger, for anything that might go wrong, for anything that we might have to change or do differently. In fact, oftentimes, that's where we spend the vast majority of our experience. Some would say as much as 90% of our day is not focused on what we're grateful for, but it's focused on what's not working or what needs to be fixed or be done. And so expanding the amount of conscious time that we integrate into our day, where we can be always focused on the good that's happening right now instead of what we don't like or want, changes, shifts, increases, expands this energy of gratitude, this vibration of gratitude in our life. How can we be grateful for something unless we pay attention to it? So your first practice is to pay attention, to be looking for the good in every situation. When you're stuck in traffic going, wow, what good is here for me in this moment? Well, it might be a good time just to breathe. It might be a good time to start thinking about everything else you're grateful for, to shift instead of just being upset for what's before you. The second thing is to praise the good in your life. Not just be aware of it, but to give thanks for it. To feel that sense of appreciation and recognition. You know, when you praise something, just like we were doing this morning with that music, you lift it up, you shine a light on it, you sing its glory. So this step calls us to change the way we think and oftentimes we talk about life. Rather than minimizing the good that's going on in our life, in our community, in our world, we start telling others about it. How often do you do this? Let me tell you everything that's good that's going on in my world. Most people go, well, I don't want to brag. I don't want to, get other people upset because I've got more good going on in my life than they've got going on. No, because then we diminish it. Then we keep it under wraps. We want to start telling people about the good that's happening. Most of the time we talk about what's not working. So I'm asking you, I'm inviting you to shift that vibration and start, whenever somebody says, how you doing? Say, I am great, and let me tell you why. I know it might sound a little odd at first, it might feel a little odd, but it is how you expand and open the doors to being in that place where you know you're walking with the kingdom of God. Say thank you each day to the divine for all the good that is here now. Life is good. Make that your mantra. Life is good. Say it, feel it. The third practice that I would encourage you to do is in conjunction with what we just were doing about, and that is to share it with others. To really be okay with sharing your good with others. This is a natural response. Think about it. When we have the harvest come in, or if you live in Florida, when the orange and the lemon and the lime and all the other citrus trees come, all of a sudden you have this abundance. In fact, you're out there and you've got more than you could ever use. What is your first reaction? You want to give it away. Here, I got oranges. Take some of my oranges. Here, look at all this extra, vegetables I've got. Let me share it with you. So whatever good is showing up in your life, to be in that flow of circulation, you want to share it with others. And then finally, the fourth practice that we can use to raise our gratitude and abundance vibration in our world is to look for the good, even in what appears to be not so good. Every challenge that shows up for us, every problem in our life has a gift hidden within it. That gift might be new wisdom. It might be the opportunity for greater change to unfold within us. It might be the opportunity to love deeper, the opportunity to practice forgiveness, or a myriad of other things. Just as we don't want to ignore the 90% of good that's happening in our life and in our world, and it's even harder in our world because the news does not tend to give you the good news. That's not their focus, although there are some good news channels, and I encourage you, if you want some news and you want the good news, go and Google good news, and there's many different organizations that they have their sole focus on just publishing the good news that's happening in the world. We don't want to ignore the other part of our life, though. Stuff does happen. Challenges do show up. Life can be difficult. But one of the ways that we can begin to make this shift within ourselves, and this is Emma Curtis Hopkins, and I shared this last month, but I want to share it with you again, that whenever you're looking at something that seems to be just the opposite of good in the world, to say it, to look directly at it and say, this too is good, this too is God, this too is for me, and then this is the part where you want to put a little attitude in it, and I demand to see the blessing in it. So even in those challenging parts, to say, I'm looking, I'm going to put my energy into finding and discovering and to embracing the good that it brings into my life. Proactive gratitude. It is a practice that will change your experience of life if you're ready to embrace it and practice it. Now, we may not do it all perfectly. From day to day, there might be some bad days, and it's just a bridge too far to say, yeah, I'm going to be grateful for this. So then start again tomorrow. We're human, and we're going to have this human experience too. But know that if you really want to shift, if you're really looking for greater health, greater and deeper and more richer relationships, greater financial abundance, greater possibilities in your life, gratitude is one of the surest ways to move you quicker into having that be a part of your experience. So as we move into our meditation time today, we're going to practice a little gratitude for our meditation. So I would just invite you to get comfortable where you are. You might want to close your outer eyes so that you can really bring all of your focus and attention within, or just focus on some point in the room. And as you just take a deep breath and let that breath go, just let go of all of the stuff that has brought you to this moment on this day. And breathe in the very life, the very love, the very energy that is in the air, that is everywhere present in our lives. And in your imagination, see if you can't visualize that thinking part of you in your head slowly sinking down into your heart space. For it is the heart that we can see and know and feel and connect and be one with God. Just as we sang to open my heart, see that heart opening as you place your attention there. And to have it vibrate at an even greater rate. Bring to your mind's eyes something or someone that you are deeply grateful for. You don't have to even think about it. You just are so thankful that this person or this opportunity is present in your life. And allow just all of the good in your life to now begin to float through your mind's awareness. Perhaps just silently saying thank you. I'm grateful for each experience, each relationship, each opportunity. Feel that energy of the heart expanding, moving beyond just your chest out into your body and even beyond this physical earth suit that we get to experience life from. And into this sacred space, now see if you can't invite someone or a situation that is challenging in your world right now. An event that's happening that is difficult to see the good in. And to that, ask the holiest of holies to show you the good, to show you God and God's love right in the midst, to show you how this is here for your own soul's unfoldment. It is here for you to know God in a deeper way. You can even demand to see the blessing in it, in this moment or in the moments to come. And with that same ask, see if there's other challenges that you can bring into this space. Open your eyes to the good that's present even in them. And even if in this moment you can't quite see it, ask that it continues to move into a greater and greater awareness in your life, that you will hear or experience something that will give you that insight. Life is not always meant to be easy, but it always can be done with a sense of love and gratitude. And as you give thanks for this time and for this awareness that within you, you can always return to this holy place to reconnect, to tap into the wisdom that moves beyond our human awareness. Or just simply rest in this energy of God's abundance, of God's love and peace. Thank you. Thank you. And as you take another deep breath in, allow that breath to bring your awareness back to this time and to this space. Aware of your body once again, and the chair supporting you, and the sounds in the room. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So the final key to the kingdom, he entitles Live in the Flow. We would say in a more updated way, go with the flow. And it's unlocked when we've practiced all of these other keys. When we are clear about our vision, when we are in that connected state, when we are grateful, when we have built a new awareness, when we've let go of the stuff that might be blocking that good from flowing through us, either physically or, as we did last week, emotionally and spiritually, we now get to be in a flow of life that is always seeking to take us to wherever it is that our soul most wants to have this life experience. Just as the creation story took 6 days for the physical creation, metaphorically, the seventh day was about resting, was about just being in that beautiful creation. And the creative process is the same for us. We work at all these different aspects of our life, and then we're invited just to allow life unfolding to move through us, to guide us, to support us. How we put these keys into practice will be unique and different for each one of us, because we all have our own unique life path and journey. But I wanted to end today by also inviting us to put these keys into practice for us as a community. We can do it in the micro of our own life, and we can also do this as part of our collective energy. So the first key is commitment, if we remember back. For this community to thrive, it is the truth that it requires a commitment by the people who are a part of it. Otherwise, it would cease to be a community. People who are willing to share of their time, of their talents, of their treasure. This is your community. And it will only grow and prosper as each person is committed to their way of supporting it. We talked about that second key being a vision. And this key reminds us that we'll never rise higher than the vision that we can hold for our community. We have to continually always be in that awareness of what's next for us. What is bubbling up? Where are we being called? How are we being called to serve the world? Your board and your staff, we've done a lot of visioning work and strategic planning. We started last year, and we're slowly working through those plans with your support. And then that will continue to be revisited and updated. We've been expanding the future leadership through the Disciples class, and it's been an amazing group of people who, even now 9 months into it, are still very committed to their own growth and to growing this community. We've created and started to re-engage with more groups and classes and events that inspire people's spiritual growth. Spirit groups that'll be starting up again in October are a great way to have that sense of connection to community and also deepen your own understanding and to hear different lenses about how that shows up for other people. We had a very clear vision for opening our Hughes Road Montessori School, which was scheduled to open Tuesday. And unfortunately, that vision has been delayed a little bit. We were rolling along. We had everything in place. Mary had put an extensive amount of work into working with state licensing and getting all the inspections we needed to do, and we thought we had a teacher hired, and then kind of at the 11th hour, her mother was hospitalized in Pakistan, and she felt like she was going to have to not be able to step into this and likely was going to have to travel to go and support her for a period of time. So we have made the decision to delay the opening till January, knowing that we will continue to hold it. Just like this trip I was going to go on. Sometimes we have a vision, we have a time frame, we have a specific way we want to see it unfold, and then we have to continue to be flexible in the process. So just know, as we hold very clearly that vision happening, I have no doubt, and I ask you to also have that same faith, that it's going to come to be. And I don't know exactly what the additional good is going to unfold out of it, but I know there's some there. It may be, in hindsight, the perfect timing when we look back. And then as we build our new awareness, that third key, This allows us to know and to stand in the truth. We looked at those 7 spiritual truths to say that God is the source, God is good, God is in the midst. And we stand in that. As we hold firm to that, we begin to allow the space for whatever it is that's seeking to unfold. We're making room for the new. We are in the process of, we've gotten a lot of new stuff in this sanctuary, so all of that old equipment, I'm hoping will find its right and perfect new home and create the space for something even greater to come in a different way into this community. And it also is that energy that we are continually looking at how we do things and the way we do things as the world, as the community, as our lives are changing. You know, it's not about being, well, this is the way we've always done it. We have to be open and flexible. That's part of our awareness. We have to be able to be willing to change and evolve as the world and this community changes and evolves. Letting go of the past, and we're seeking how we can begin to live in a healthier, more loving environment. You know, we did nonviolent communication to give us some tools to be able to agree and disagree in love. That's always a challenge when you get a big old group of people together who all have different opinions and ideas about how things should go. We're offering, and hopefully more and more people will engage in this process where, and it's coming the art and practice of no one and nothing against us, but that's not its new name, but how we can understand and show up when conflict is going on in our lives. And we'll continue to try and engage everyone so that when we do have issues, we can move through those through a common understanding and awareness. We can move through those by owning whatever our stuff is in that and healing that and allowing that to then be released. And then we've got gratitude going on, and there's a lot of gratitude. I've been living in gratitude now for several months, especially since we've now become greater and greater settled into this new space we have here. So much gratitude for all the people who support this community, because it takes the entire village. And so I would like today to just offer some gratitude to you out here, and I see it's going to be a lot of people. If you serve this community in any way, if you volunteer in any way, or are on staff, I would like for you to stand up for this moment. Come on, you can do it. If you volunteered in the last year, stand up in this space. Lori, you volunteer. You are up here playing guitar every Sunday. Hello. Paula, you are on the birthday banquet. Yes. Pat, you help out in the kitchen. Stand up. I'm looking at all you people. I know you've come and helped at various times. Yes. All of you, if you really think about it, you have helped out. And I just want to offer you a unity blessing this morning with a lot of gratitude with it. And you can turn around and offer it to the rest of your community. Here we go. Ready? And if you don't know it, just feel the energy of it. And there's Eric back in the fellowship hall getting our first Sunday lunch ready for us as soon as the service ends. Here we go. Ready? We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold Christ in you. Namaste. Yes. Feel that. You know, as we live these truths, we call forth the kingdom of heaven. There's no doubt about it. Well, it is our opportunity now to share of our tithes, our gifts, our love offerings, our support of this community in a financial way. In just a moment, the ushers are going to invite you to come up row by row and place your gift, if you're sharing one today, into the larger basket, or you can add a little card that you'll find in the front pockets if you give electronically, or just simply put your hand over the basket and add your energy. See that flow of abundance moving through it. And then, because we want to be in that flow of circulation, we invite you to receive an affirmation that will bless you this week. We are just grateful, and we continue to be in that proactive gratitude, knowing that all that we need, all that's required for this community to continue to grow and thrive, flows through us with grace and with ease. So join with me as we hold our gifts or the energy of those gifts in our hands and in our heart and bless it together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, Father, Mother, God.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And while we go and we know we're protected, I encourage each of you to come after the soup and salad and listen to this important information so that we all know how to stay safe in the event of some very unlikely circumstance happening in our sanctuary. And let us go knowing our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a beautiful week.